My, how you've grown. I know you sometimes feel stuck in that moment where the sun hits at just the right angle and it feels like you've time hopped back to where you were. But my dear, I promise you can never go back. Not just because it never existed, but because it never will. It's okay to breathe it out. It's okay to double over with grief. It's okay to unbelieve. It won't change how hard you've worked. It will only continue to expand. Oh, sure, I know it's not what you wanted, but have you considered that maybe it is? Tell me, slowly, thoughtfully, with words that caress your soul as they pour from your heart. Tell me what hurts, and I will take it from you. It's somewhere in my left shoulder, tethered to something in my right. A push and pull that creates a spiraling ache in my form. I don't always notice it, but it's always there. It runs so deep that I wonder if there's any ending to it. Or is it just a pain that goes on and on forever? An emotional black hole. It exhausts me, yet keeps me wide awake, uncomfortable with the peace that comes from sleep. An escape that only reminds me, eyes wide open, that I don't have one. I've tried to name it, but nothing fits. I'll try again. It's the smell of the reeds in the heat of summer, the putrid rot of life being sizzled away as the sun greedily calls the water back to the sky. The last swig of a delicious cup of tea left atop a fence post. But just as you're swallowing, you realize it's not today's tea, and there's a millisecond where you know that it's too late to spit it out, but you also know it's too far gone. As it goes down, it comes back up, an involuntary contraction, a fruitless expulsion, and finally, a permanent taste that lingers, despite all best attempts at sputtering it out. Or maybe, on a more lighthearted note, when a butterfly lands on your hand, and for a moment, each delicate movement feels like it's been orchestrated just for you, an intermittent connection beckoning you to become one with the part of self that speaks in the same universal language, only to watch in bereft admiration as the magic flies first away, then folds back into the present, a wonder of happenstance, tip-tip-tapping, and unlikely to be recreated. I think that sums it up. A hurt and a beauty, both so equally charged. A black and white, a yin and yang, an inside out and upside down. The ache isn't the loss of a flip side, but instead, in the final knowing that what I thought was the other half of completion was merely the illusion of a mirage, a riddle that I have finally chosen to see for exactly what it is, the never-ending beginning.